Hey, this is Marc Goldberg from Marc Vlogs Watches, and today we're gonna kill a mole. Well, here you are, you're looking at My Girl Friday. And boy, we got a lot of molehills here. Some of them are old, but some of them are new. So what I've done is I've run that hose right into the tunnel. And it's coming out the exhaust of the snowblower. And I know it's going because that hose is vibrating all the way down here. See if you can hear this. So that exhaust is blowing all the way. The only reason I have the snowblower, that far is because I have a lot of hose and I didn't want to kink it up too much. Now, you can do this with a lawnmower. I'm using the snowblower for a couple of reasons. One, it has a manifold or an exhaust pipe sticking out that just happens to fit that hose. I can just jam the hose over it with no fitting and we're good to go. But you can just as easily rig up a lawnmower. The nice thing about this is at this time of the year I need to run that snowblower dry anyway so that over the winter it doesn't get all gunky. Because it's got a carburetor that'll gunk up, and the snowblower guy told me let it run dry at the end of the season, and that's now. So I'm using up gasoline that I have to use up anyway. And that's really it. Now what I'm going to do is I'll let that run for 15 minutes maybe there, and then I'll just dig around, find another runway, and jam it down there and cover it up with a little bit of dirt. I actually see a little bit of exhaust. I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, but look and see. I see a little bit of exhaust coming out of that hole now. I'm not sure you can detect that on the camera, but what that means is I've got the runway pretty filled up there. Probably time to move the hose. Well, this is the fun, cheap, and easy way to kill moles. Have at it, guys. While we take a quick look at mole damage on another part of the property, I'm going to tell you that I had a problem with the whole snowblower hose situation. And the problem was that the hose melted, So I was only able to gas up that one runway system before the hose melted. I think you would be better served going to a metal fitting that gave you some distance between the rubber and the actual manifold of the engine. I did have a metal fitting on that hose, but it was only a few inches long. It wasn't quite enough. And yet I had bunches more moles way out there. So I went to the local farm store and I bought the Giant Destroyer Super Gasser. No, that's not your uncle at Thanksgiving. It's this gas bomb here. It looks like a quarter stick of dynamite, but it has no explosive properties. It's got a tremendous sulfur smell and nitrite output. So the fuses comes packed separately, and you just jam the fuse in the hole. And then what you do is you go to your mole run, you find the little, there's going to be their holes are perfect, by the way, and they're network tunnels that are about like this. So you have to delicately excavate until you find one of those holes. Ideally, hopefully it's active. You gently excavate, and then you light this, and then you gently insert the fuse end into the hole. And now, at that point, with your Giant Destroyer gasser, you have two options. You can just cover the hole up and look for where smoke will be seeping out, and if it's pouring out of other places in the network, just kind of gently tamp those down to keep the smoke and gas inside the network. Or if you're like me, you pull out the leaf blower. I use a leaf blower because this property is really big. But if your property isn't giant and you have a shop vac that you can, you know, turn the hose around and so it's blowing instead of sucking, and you have a long extension cord, then you can, you know, just jam that into the hole, and you add a little bit of air power to blow that gas through the system much quicker. I use the leaf blower. Let's take a look. Well. There's Friday. Here we are a couple of days later now. It has rained here, so these hills look wet. And you can see the incredible amount of damage. Hope you can tell. We'll take a look all the way down there. You know, moles are territorial, so if we have a mole all the way down there by that fence line in that shed, operating up in an area there, then it'll be a different one here. But they don't like to get close together. They're highly territorial. However, just the other side of that fence line, out by that clump of trees there with that birch tree, we have more. So what I have done is used about 6 gas bombs. You just gotta kind of find the tunnel, you know. Now mind you, if you go to these are the hills where the moles are tunneling around the yard. They may tunnel from here to there, and then they have to have somewhere to push up the excess dirt, so they'll push up in these mounds. So you can dig one of those out, and then you'll find a little round hole. I mean, they do a perfect job. They they dig out a perfect little hole, and then there'll be a network of them running all around here. Now, prior to gassing these little boogers out, I have done lots of other things. I've especially tried trapping them. If you tamp down one of their tunnels or hills, then they got to repair it. And so if you set a trap at the point where you, she's very happy. If you set a trap where you know the mole will come to repair the damage that you've created, you can get them. But I'm just not good at it. And the gas permeates throughout this network of tunnels. You see all these holes, or mounds rather, and these mounds are again where they're pushing up dirt, excess dirt caused by the tunneling system. So they do a tremendous amount of damage to the lawn. Now that looks like a fresh hill, but that's because it's wet. I made that mark in it yesterday. You can kind of see a divot right here. And I made that mark in it yesterday, so I would be able to tell in the wet dirt if it got repaired. And so far, no. So I think I've killed a total of 3 moles on this property, maybe 4. But boy, the amount of damage that they do is just terrific. Let's come over here and we'll close with a little look at all the mess. That's right here, what you're looking at is a tunnel running all the way along fence line. They love going along fence lines and walls, probably because they hit barriers, but also too they're more protected. Very, very clever animals, these moles, but unfortunately they do a tremendous amount of damage. Okay, Marc Goldberg, gas your moles.
Paint the sky your favorite color.